was fucking funny.
Hello and welcome to Critical Questions. Excuse me while I throw something at Stool. The antidote to lockdown boredom. I've trawled the internet for the best, worst, most interesting and ridiculous dumb questions I can find. And with any luck, my guests will be able to answer all of them. Today we have got Dancing Dave, Godless Granny, Dave the musical fruit. Not sure what happens when he toots. Godless Scummer.
Oi, oi.
And Parsnip Garden 482. What happened to the rest?
Behold my muff.
Good morning,
We're
everyone.
adults here.
How are you doing?
I've never wanted to see his muff.
Have you not? He can hide
Well,
behind
take
it.
That.
Leaves. I ruined it.
There you go. Jefferson's
I'm pretty
Patrick
sure you've seen. I'm sure you've seen my muff before, Magda.
Yes, I've seen your muff many times. Thank you. It's an impressive one.
Did you see it when he
It's
filled it up?
large, isn't it?
Did you see it?
It's a perspective thing because of the camera angle. That's
No,
all.
it isn't. Look,
It's as big as his head.
I was not. I don't know. It threw me a little bit when you shaved, but you do look less.
you
Just saying.
dirty fucking bitch. Thank you.
You're welcome.
You just dropped offline.
What?
Why did I?
You're back now by the look of it. He'll buffer him.
1063.
Spooky thinks
That's a
it's
very
you.
good. But I'm not touching her. I will not touch you, Granny. I promise not to touch you.
Doesn't
You
work
can
for
be
me.
turned
promise.
down all you want as long as you keep your hands to
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah, don't forget she's got knitting skills.
Yeah, well,
Oh, she's got a spatula knit thing.
see how the fuck does you think I feel then? I got Dave bouncing up and down on me.
Right, in theory, we're live again.
And that is not a turn on.
I can't wait till his bulb blows again.
I think it's a turn on, Dave. Makes you feel any better.
I think it's a good position, Jeff. If Dave says something wrong, you can bite him.
I need to have like a pin, like, and just sort of like go like that.
Yeah, but you understand if you pop the ball, he lands on you.
Good point.
Oh, well, at least it's a soft landing.
Okay, we can see everybody now. All our pretty tiny happy
It's not
faces.
saying. It's not saying. It's a little. Just the way he's bouncing up and down. It's a little. I know my gut's getting big, Dave, but you don't have to fucking exaggerate like that.
I was wondering what color your balls are.
This ball. Would you like
Blue.
to see this ball?
Is this a black one?
Would you like to see the new one?
You can just tell me what color it is.
I prefer to show it.
Ooh,
The big black one.
It's a bit black.
It
I
looks
used to have a
blue.
purple one.
I used to have a purple one too.
yeah, until it broke.
Something happened to it.
Oh dear!
Is that like a different? Is that like a different level of severity if they're purple?
Yeah.
Dave.
Yeah.
I don't get the feeling
you
Dave
know what it
bouncing up
means
and
if
down
it's
on me is
black?
going into the fan fiction.
Have we fixed this shite yet? Because I'm getting really bored now.
We've been back online for ages.
So what are we fucking doing?
We're
What's the
chatting.
Waiting for Dave to ask a question.
Chatting? Chatting? What the fuck? Chatting.
Trying to get you in order, Buster.
Yeah.
Chatting. Critical
Would you-
chatting now, eh?
Would you like the
Moving
first
on.
question?
Yes.
You sure?
I know the answer. I know the answer already.
Do you? What's the answer?
The answer is Godless Granny with spatula hands.
And mermaids.
Starkey says, "Oh my God, Dave's ball is on screen."
Perverted, you dirty woman. What is wrong with you? You filthy beast.
God,
She's
Dave,
she's a granny. Don't say shit like that when she's with us.
don't say shit like the stuff that you say.
Just fucking behave yourself.
Stool,
Dave, kick her out. She's a filthy beast. Kick her out.
Stool,
I think
people
it's
want to know.
hilarious that Stool is trying to tell me to behave myself.
I know. People want to know what the hell happened to the other 481.
Parsnip Gardens. That's on you, Stool.
Is that the first question?
No.
That's a really shit question, Dave. Sorry. Move on.
Move on. He can't account for them, no. Right.
And Dave can't remember, so.
I'm a Russian sock puppet. This is not me.
It's
This
just
is not
the
you.
plot number. It's the plot number of his allotment. There you go.
But this is my muff.
When are you going to let your beard
Behold
grow back? I think you were friendlier with a beard.
Oh, you dirty pervert. That's so weird.
You were less threatening.
That is really
Really?
fucking weird.
Yeah. He
Right,
just came
Dave,
across. It just came across as pervy and old with a beard.
Dave, kick yourself out. You're a
Why
fucking
do you think-
weirdo.
So
Dave, why the
how
fuck do you
is-
think I should shave mine off?
How does pervy and old equal less threatening? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
Now,
that's
now he
kind of
comes across as
disturbing.
malicious and calculating.
Because if you're proven
Yeah.
and you get old enough, you can't get it up anymore. So you're pretty
So
harmless.
he just needs to get the mustache right so he can twirl it. That's what
Then he come across as pure evil.
because he is, and we know it.
Right.
This is why I shaved my fucking beard off.
You have a beard?
I used to have one.
Oh.
Go ahead, Dave.
wasn't a
Ask
good
an
look.
actual question.
Okay. Right. First question.
Oh, we're starting now. Okay.
Yes. Shush.
Yeah.
Question 1057. In your highly subjective opinion, in your highly subjective and probably wrong opinion, which drink is the superior, Pepsi or Coke?
Coke.
Oh,
Coke.
Ooh.
total coincidence, look. Total coincidence.
Yeah, and I actually almost yelled at you for that, Stool, this morning because Pepsi is garbage.
It's the choice of a generation.
It's the wrong choice.
It-
wrong
it did
generation.
win
In Atlanta.
So you're
duh,
blaming, you're literally blaming an entire generation.
Coke.
Fuck you.
RC Cola.
I'd like to teach the world to sing.
That's Coke.
Yes, that is
Yeah.
that is Coca-Cola.
Yeah, that's Coke.
What was the question? What was the fucking question?
You drove Granny away already.
I didn't touch her. I swear I did not touch her.
Wasn't it
I-
Pepsi that started Michael Jackson
What
on
a
fire?
time.
I'm drinking my Pepsi.
Can I
Right.
answer this then?
Sure.
I don't have a real favourite between two. I lean a little bit more towards Pepsi, but I'll take either one of them. But I tend to be more of a. I only really drink cola with rum anyway. I'm more a Sprite man when it comes to soft drinks.
Sprite.
Nerdy says Coke. Starkey says root beer. Ricardo says red wine. Spooky says Lucasade. Kevin says totally prefer Tab. Never Again says Chevy. What the hell's Chevy? That's a car.
You might be thinking Chivas Regal.
I have no idea what that is. Sarah says Coke, but I like Peps about
Some kind of
equally.
bad scotch.
Some bad scotch. Fair enough.
What about Coke or New Coke?
Oh, that's nice. I like that, Amanda. That's
It's
nice.
aluminum too. That's one of the like.
It's
It's
what?
what?
Excuse
It's
me.
what?
It's fucking what?
It's what?
It's aluminum.
It's what?
What?
Fuck
It's
you.
fucking what?
I don't want to hear
Aluminium.
it, British freaks.
Thank
and then I
you.
get the little Coke there too.
But mind you, let's have a little. Oh, now I'm sure that Pepsi's track record is no better. But this is this little book here on Coca-Cola. Let's have a little look. Murder a trade unionist in Colombia.
Nobody asked about the
Labor
company.
in,
Is this Coke?
Nobody asked about the company, Jeff. We
Yeah,
just
It's
wanna
a
know what
drink.
tastes
It's the
better.
drink. But the question, it does have a thing as to whether or not it tastes different. That you know that the company
It-
has murdered people.
Can I ask a grown-up question, please? Can I ask
It's
a grown-up question?
It's made from
Sure.
dead Colombians.
Not likely.
Probably not, but go on.
Oh, hot. Fuck off. Can you actually taste what is the difference, do you think, between the taste between Pepsi and Coke?
I can answer.
Can you describe it?
I have an unbiased answer because I hate them
No,
both.
you don't. No, you
I
don't.
hate them both.
I hate them both. I really do.
I wonder what the difference is in taste, because you guys are not old enough to remember the old adverts. You know,
Pepsi
the Pepsi
Challenge
Cola
advert.
Challenge.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that.
I know you're old enough, Granny, but you knit with one stick.
I remember that, and I'm the youngest person here.
I wonder what the difference is.
Jenny, what's the difference?
Well, they taste different. Clearly,
That's it, is it?
Coke is sweeter.
Yeah, I think Coke is
This
probably
is-
sweeter, but they're both garbage. Root beer is
They're
the
both
only
garbage.
soft drink that's worth sweetening.
Right.
I've got issues with this. I've got big issues with this question.
But there was something about the way Pepsi conducted those taste tests, though, that did make it sort of lean towards them. That with that sort of I can't remember quite what it is, but with that first sip or something, it did, which is what they sort of allowed with the taste test. It had a bit of an advantage over Coke, but if you drank any like more than, like a longer.
Am I wrong, or was Pepsi fizzier?
Yeah, a little
Sure,
bit. Well,
I was
then,
thinking,
yeah,
and I wonder that would
probably a
affect
little
the
bit.
first taste a lot more.
Yeah.
I
think
took the Pepsi challenge at a shopping mall once and picked Coke. And they said, well, here's a coupon for Pepsi anyway.
Oh,
quickly.
that was in the Wild West, and they brought it on a little wagon, didn't they, Granny? No, bless.
But the thing
Still
is,
contain cocaine.
the reason Coke panicked over that is they tested the same way under Pepsi's own conditions and found out that actually their own bloody employees preferred Pepsi over their own drink. So this is when they actually, now the thing that they obviously come out with was New Coke, which technically everyone who did the blind taste test said it tasted fucking better than either of them.
Yeah.
It was just marketed so badly that everybody now thinks it was a shit drink. It wasn't.
Yeah.
It was better than either of them.
Yeah. Right, quickly, gonna catch up on the chat. Lou, I like Coke. Kevin, actually
he wants to be
Pepsi
quick
unless
now.
yes, unless it's from a can. Spooky, drink Pepsi, snort Coke. Never again. Pepsi, Coke, Ford, Dodge, etc. I'm surprised we haven't started another civil war over such horse dung. Jefferson Spatchcock.
They're both from the south.
Yeah. Coke with whiskey?
That's a very good point, actually, from side chat. Manda, do you prefer a slim bottle or a thick can?
Thick bottom.
It's absolutely Coke in a bottle. Actually, no. Technically, the best Coke is stuff that comes from the fountain, and then the glass.
Coke does not come from fountains. What is wrong with you crazy Americans? Coke does not come from fucking fountains.
It does too.
It does too.
A soda fountain stool.
I drink Diet, and there's no question that Diet Coke is better than Diet Pepsi.
I'll tell you now, there's a British one, St. Min's Curiosity Cola, which fucking blows both of them away.
Never heard of it.
There is not
Yeah,
one
well,
single palatable diet soft drink on the planet.
No.
How can you drink
Diet
that
drinks are-
swill?
No.
Ugh.
Anyway, before we move on, it's the taste of a new generation.
To take to it.
And it's bullshit.
Starkey says Icy's way better. Nerdy says Diet Vanilla and Cherry Coke.
I'm pretty sure Coke owns Icy.
I'd
So.
like to teach the world to sing.
Shh. Jefferson
I
Spatchcock.
almost did that, Stool.
Don't encourage him. What is wrong with you?
Jefferson Spatchcock says Chivas Regal is an engine cleaner in a fancy bottle. Computer Chick Productions says Pepsi, hands down, more superior.
See, I do marginally prefer Pepsi, but I'll drink either one of them, I suppose, if I have to.
Okay,
I would say, unless Coke goes back to the original where it was made with an extra ingredient.
Yeah, cool.
The worst thing about my undergraduate school was that it was a Pepsi college. They
Here
sold
we go.
Pepsi.
I've been to college.
Very
I've got an education. Da, 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 da.
That's the joke
Mine
about
was
it. It's
mine
got,
was-
On science.
that's the joke about it. It's not got any coca in it. It's barely got any cola in it.
No. Mag says the freshest roast chicken.
I don't understand that one.
As opposed to Coke or Pepsi, given that everyone else was giving drinks.
Mm.
Apparently, Coke from
Well,
Mexico is better than Coke from the US.
I've heard that. But...
Go on, Jeff.
Well, the Mexican stuff uses actual sugar as opposed to high
Yeah.
fructose corn syrup,
Yeah.
and you
That's
can't
why you
tell
get
the
the
difference.
Coke in
The
the
American-
Hands down.
The American stuff is actually shit, which is why I always recommend you drink Pepsi from a cold can from the UK.
Mexican
Choice of a new generation.
Mexican soda Jarrito brand is excellent soda if you're going to drink soda at all.
I'd like to
I-
teach the world to
I
see.
would if it did have some sort of coca leaf flavour to it, it would be better even without the bit that makes you a bit high.
Well, that's the
Uh-huh.
thing, though. If it has any kind of cocaine in it, you're not going to taste it anyway.
Oh, if you chewed a coca leaf, that's got a taste.
It does. Okay.
I want to know where the
I
name.
was in Peru 2 years ago. Coca was practically in everything.
Really?
I get where the coca part comes from, but what is coke? Coke is always an ingredient to
Cola's a
create
nut, I
steel.
believe.
Yeah, cola is a nut, and the coca is the
Oh,
you know.
I see. Okay.
Remember
Yeah,
the cola nuts? And
Oh yeah, that's right.
cola nuts.
Who was that?
Coke.
Jeffrey. What was his name? Jeffrey.
I can't remember his name.
He had that beautiful voice.
Hey, Bouncy Boy, do you actually time these questions? Because this one has gone on for like about 2 days now.
Really, because this is no time whatsoever.
This has gone on for less than 10 minutes.
You
Fuck
were
me.
right. You should never have brought this guy on.
He doesn't behave.
All I'll just say is we don't need the extra ingredient in the Coca-Cola for Stool.
This is true. That's why I always recommend Pepsi. It's the choice of a new generation.
If I don't get
Somebody
sponsorship from
take a
Pepsi,
smack him, please.
I'm going to be very unhappy. Disturbingly, that task had fallen to me. I think he's closest.
Yeah.
How come they charge more for filtered water than they do for soda when they come from the same company, same plants, all that kind of stuff?
Because capitalism isn't based upon what things cost, based
No.
on what people are willing to
Yeah.
pay.
Mm-hmm.
And what
That's
you
the
can
size
sell
of
and how you can sell it.
Well, for example, like I suppose it's starting to creep back in here now in the UK, but it's always when the whole bottled water thing kind of sort of took off. Now in the UK, if you were selling bottled water, it was expected to be spring water. So when Coca-Cola tried to sell Dasani over here, which was basically tap water that they refined or whatever, it was a bit of a scandal. It was, and nobody because it was people felt that Coca-Cola were conning them, even though they got away with doing this in America for years because expectations on bottled water were different.
I had an interesting fact about this, but I can't be asked. I'm bored, so move on.
Right, Sammy says Pepsi Max.
Pepsi Max is nice. It's better than Coke Zero.
Spooky says, why does Stool's muff smell so bad?
Doesn't wash it nearly enough.
Because he dripped some of his jizz burger over it, probably.
Yeah.
That's quite a good look. That is quite a good look. Jenny, what's your answer?
Adorable.
It does smell, to be honest.
Do I have to choose between the two?
Yes.
Ooh, that was stinky.
Here, Jenny, I'll make the question easier. Which tastes better with rum in it?
I've
That
never
depends
had
on the rum,
concoction.
Granny.
Oh, okay.
I've never had any of that.
Who's the rum person? Are you a rum person, Jenny?
I'm the rum
No.
person here, I guarantee you.
Well,
Are you a rum... Jaja, are you a rum person?
Dark
I
rum.
hope
yes.
I hope to have
That
sex
right.
with Amanda someday, so I'll say Coke.
Thank you.
You're probably going to have to
Rum is
bring.
rather
You're probably going to
splendid.
have to bring your own Coke to make it happen.
Dave.
Well, there we
Now
haven't
it's your
finished yet.
turn.
Iron Brew from Woolly.
Iron
yes.
Brew. Oh, Iron Brew.
Iron Brew. Oh my gosh, yes. I've just got an erection. Oh my gosh.
Just got it.
The drink that makes Coca-Cola look like a health-conscious option.
Tatty was
Iron
trying
Brew.
to. Tatty was
Iron-
trying to bribe Scott Manley with Iron Brew yesterday.
Iron Brew is gorgeous.
Iron
However,
Brew's
they've changed
fucking
it.
Mm.
They've changed the
Yes.
recipe now.
They've taken
it's
all the
not-
sugar out.
it's not good.
Yeah.
This is
Oh,
very
I
true.
like
Yeah.
I like orange soda.
The
Tango.
thing was as well.
Fanta.
I mean,
Does soda mean it's fizzy
I don't know if it's
in
still.
Americanese?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't know if it still is in Scotland anymore, but for decades, Iron Brew used to fucking like outsell Coke like for
Yeah.
tons.
Oh yeah.
It just
Can I ask
tamed
a
everyone.
stupid question?
What's Iron Brew?
Yeah, what's Iron Brew?
Someone
Can
describe
I-
Iron Brew.
It's a
Can I
soft.
give an
it's
interesting
soft-
fact,
It's a
fact,
soft drink
please?
that's made from metal girders.
Iron Brew lets you lift up the pavement, the sidewalk,
This is true,
so you can
George.
sweep under it.
Made in Scotland from girders.
Yeah.
I actually lived in Scotland for 10 years and I had a shop as part of what I was doing. And I can tell you something, Iron Brew is the biggest selling soft drink there is. And some of the weird Scottish people from a certain town in Scotland would actually have it on their breakfast cereal
That's
rather than milk.
I've heard of people doing that with Coke and Pepsi, and that's just revolting.
But Jar Jar and Dave will remember this. You know, do you remember the Iron Brew Christmas ads
Oh,
from a few years ago
Yeah.
with the snowman?
No.
Oh yes, I remember that. Yeah.
Absolute
I remember
fucking
that. That was fucking
classics.
hilarious.
Yeah, they were good.
That was
We-
it's a brilliant
we need-
parody on the snowman.
I can't see who's in the side chat, but if Linky Fucky Boy is there, get him to Google this shit and post a link to the Iron Brew. Just for Godless Granny, because she's old and she just doesn't
I've
understand.
put a
Can you
I've
hear
put-
us, Granny?
Yes,
Can you hear us?
yes.
Okay.
I've got-
she's just
Right.
ignoring your ass.
Jenny, what was your answer?
This is still question one.
Yes, it would be if we could get Jenny's answer. We could move on.
I gave
You
my
gave
answer.
Your answer too, Dave. Sorry.
Go on,
I'm
Jenny.
not going to repeat it. I gave it to you.
What was
She
it?
says she doesn't like.
Do I have to do the preamble too?
No, just that you don't like it. You don't like either, but you would go with.
Coke.
And we finished now.
Yes, we can move
No,
on.
Dave has to answer the fucking question.
Coke. Between
Thank
those
you.
two.
Saying that there are other drinks available.
Are there?
Stevens.
Are they going to sponsor the show?
Yeah. Iron Brew now.
It's the choice of a new generation.
Iron Brew will sponsor it.
I quite like Powerade, the blue Powerade.
I'd
Coke
like
might
to
sponsor me that.
No, that's-
It's the world to see.
Coke owns Powerade.
I just said that.
Oh, well, fuck you then.
Right. Okay. Next question. Oh god. I can't believe I've got to read this question. Right. Question 1058. Did you know that cockroach milk is a thing? It is highly nutritious and is being considered as a solution to world hunger. Would you drink cockroach milk? And what do you imagine it would taste like?
You're breaking up.
Coca-Cola.
Could you start that over? I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Question
you roll about
1000. Question 1058. Did you know that cockroach milk is a thing? It is highly nutritious, and it is being considered as a solution to world hunger. Would you drink cockroach milk? And what do you imagine it would taste like?
I imagine Coca-Cola.
You
That's
wish.
what it tastes like.
You've got to add that to your tea.
Are you sure about that, Jar Jar?
People
It
in your
might taste
that's
like
what cockroach-
another popular brand of drink.
I would think it would
That
taste
gets
very much
smaller?
like praying. I would think it would
I
taste very
think-
much like praying mantis puree.
Praying mantis
think
puree.
It'll
Yeah.
taste very sweet, I would imagine. Very sweet.
Spooky says cockroach milk is very similar to stool milk.
Okay,
Where's
let's
Brainbug?
not- let's
Where's
not go
Brainbug
there.
when we need him?
Yeah, well, who we really need is Sammy, who wrote the question.
wanna
Answers in
see-
Genesis had an article about this just a week or two ago.
Did they?
Yeah.
I want to
Tell us
see
more.
Stool. I want to see Stool milk himself.
No, you don't.
Whoa.
Nobody
Whoa.
Harry,
wants to
it's
see
almost
that.
pure protein. Does it come out as a liquid? Or does
What are we
I'm
talking about? No,
imagining
me or the fucking cockroach?
The cockroach.
Okay, that's fine.
Right. Does it come out as a liquid? I'm imagining it kind of comes out as kind of like tomato puree comes out of the tube.
I'm
Oh,
thinking.
horrifying prospect.
I don't think it's actual
Why?
milk from cockroaches. I think it's a substance that is assembled from micronized cockroach bodies.
It's just like almond milk. It's
Mm.
yeah, it's pretty much pureed.
Okay. I could see it being. It may taste very nice. I don't know. It could
It
be a
will taste
viable
nice.
alternative. However, I see a lot of marketing issues with it.
Never Again says, keep going, I've almost lost my appetite.
I would
would-
end up like Demolition Man, where we have like cockroach milk and rat burgers.
I would try cockroach milk. Why not?
Hmm?
I wouldn't munch on a whole one, but
Nerdy
make
says it would probably taste quite similar to cockroach cheese and cockroach butter.
Yeah, so there you go.
Jefferson says it tastes like Pepsi.
So it tastes better. So it tastes better than I imagined. Then
I would drink it if it had enough rum in it.
There you go.
Chad says, yes, I would try it if it was properly filtered and pasteurized. I imagine it would taste like a creamy almond milk.
I think you would actually all enjoy it because
You've
I
got
can now
background noise.
imagine the taste.
You've got
It's
a hum.
Granny's vibrator again. Granny, come on, not today.
Sorry.
Give us a rest, please.
And I don't think
Okay.
there'd be anything wrong with rat burgers either. Why not?
No, rat burgers would be fine.
It's
Rabbit
just meat.
burgers would be better. Harmonica Man says, fuck no, that's almost as dumb as Trump. Ricardo says, who's going to milk the roaches? We're going to make it Stool's full-time job. Apparently it's a liquid and it's almost pure protein. I think I already said that. Kevin says, imagine cockroach teats. Not on
I'm
this
actually
show.
going to. Sorry, I'm going to actually respond to something Kevin said as well. How am I slandering Demolition Man, which is a great movie, by the way, when rat burgers were actually a thing in that movie?
Oh shit, it's going to kick off again. Get B. Quick, get B.
I think Bee's asleep.
Don't
No,
stir.
Bea's on her way to
Don't-
work.
Oh.
Don't Stool. Do not stir it up. We had a disagreement yesterday, but it was nothing personal. Okay.
Could you
$29 an hour.
please eliminate the account of Richard Madsen? He just welcomed everybody on the chat and panel except me.
Have you said anything in the chat?
Are you sure?
I don't know. Have I?
Because he can't tag you if you're not in the chat.
Oh yeah. If you haven't written in the
You
chat
haven't
yet,
written
that's
anything in
why.
the chat in the last 20 minutes.
Okay, then you only have to spank him.
But I've just completely lost where we got to. Jefferson Spatchcock says, so it's a nut wash, but this time they're washing roaches. I'm assuming that's like almond
Not
milk.
wash city
Starkey
limits.
says, itty bitty cockroach tits. Lou says, hell no. Oh, titties, sorry. Jefferson Spatchcock, I would eat rats. I've got no problem with eating rats. I'm not convinced I want to eat sewer rats, but I've got no problem eating rats.
I wouldn't eat any rat from a wild rat from the city or anything like
No.
that. No.
For rats that were farmed to eat, no problem.
Yeah, like guinea pigs.
If you're
guinea pigs are
starving,
pretty
you'll eat
tasty.
just about anything.
You're very true. Although, have you seen how big the sewer rats can get? I wouldn't really want to take one on. Is the issue?
No, I fought those
Vicious little
fuckers.
buggers.
Ooh, no.
Spooky says, cockroach milk is a protein-rich, crystallized substance produced by a specific type of cockroach called something I'm going to bastardize saying. Diplobothria punctata. I swear these
What
people
now?
make me... No! Don't say that! Diploptera punctata.
Diplop.
Okay, you say so.
Right,
See,
someone
this is
repeat
why I
that.
took Latin.
This is why you took Latin. Right, someone else is going to say it. There you go. Say that, please.
Oh, you got it in the chat?
Yeah.
Diloptera punctata.
Yeah, that's not
There you
hard,
go.
Dave.
You say it?
Yes. Diloptera punctata. That's it. Sure.
That sounds like a Harry Potter spell.
That's like from that movie Punctata. You know,
Fuck Harry Potter.
He's old enough now.
And an atheist. Okay.
The species is unique because it gives birth to live offspring. Spooky says members make milk in the form of protein crystal to serve as food for their developing young. So it really is milk. Nerdy says the co-author estimates that it would take killing more than 1,000 cockroaches to make just 3.5 ounces of milk. And now they're shouting about demolition men. Right, skipping over everything else. Any screen name. Right.
Am I YouTubes from the past? Because they're all talking about Pepsi. What
Yes.
the fuck?
Almost
What the
certainly.
fuck is happening?
Right.
you're pretty obsessed with Pepsi, aren't you?
He's obsessed
You know
with whatever he's
why?
got in front of him. We spent
It's-
years with him.
this is
No.
Have you
We
considered
spent
getting
years
sued
with
for
him
this?
talking about his blue spoon. And I'm fairly certain that's just because it was in front of him.
Yeah.
This is his blue fork he's been talking about for the last couple of months.
No, seriously. If you buy food, you get these free with it. And they're
That's
really
'cause they're
shiny.
shit.
No, they're really shiny. If you stroke them nicely,
Looks
They
sing.
dangerous.
they sing to you.
Idiot
Right.
Stool.
Answer.
Dave, answer the question.
No, not one of
I'd
you has
like
answered it
to
yet.
teach the world to
I
sing.
want to.
Would
Actually,
you?
no. Jenny, you said you would, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you imagine
What?
it would taste
Jenny
like?
answered.
Cockroach milk.
What did... Yeah, I would try it. Sure, why
You
not?
would try it. Manda.
No.
No. I thought you were an environmentalist.
I know, but I draw the line at cockroaches. Like,
Well, you wouldn't.
you
Yeah,
know,
you
if
wouldn't
you-
see
if-
them.
If you knew it was an insect product, but nobody specified cockroach, would you try it?
I mean, honestly, this is the thing that Brian and I are doing a video on. In fact, because so I should be saying yes, because in fact the future of protein, especially in order to not
Yes.
kill our planet and continue our species,
Exactly.
would be insects. But it just
I think they should be ground down into a flour. Right, Jeff has just super chatted from wherever he's run away to and says, Critical Cripple, you are fined on credit under the Verbal Moralities Act. For what? Everything I said is perfectly fucking legitimate, I think. Oh, for saying, for not saying that word. Yeah, fair enough. Thank you very much. Spooky says, I remember Stool during his camel touching phase.
Oh, this was very bad. I needed the money. I apologise. I'm really sorry. I was young.
I can't believe you wouldn't. I genuinely thought you'd be the only person that would. Granny,
I already answered.
what did you say?
I said I would try it if you put enough rum in it.
You put enough rum in. Stool.
I like how you use the word try, as if we've never done it before. Fucking weirdos. Absolutely, because I know what it tastes like. It's quite yummy, to be honest. It's sweet and sticky. Bit like jizz.
Jizz is not sweet.
Oh, shit.
Now,
Is
why
it
do both of you know
monster
that?
now?
Should I phone a doctor? Oh, dear.
I want to know why
Perhaps.
both of them know that.
Santi says, I'll drink it.
Santi
What?
cannot drink my jizz. Sorry, no.
The worst thing is I have a jizz question that I've had since the start, since about the third week of doing the quiz, that I haven't put in because I haven't worked
Jizz
out how I can say it with a straight face.
Put it in the
Okay.
chat. I'll read
Just
it.
put it up and we'll read it for you.
Well, no, I have to do it on another day when I've got it lined up so I can come
Just
on.
let it come.
Right, next question. The depressing question. Question 1059. By how many years after your death do you estimate that your existence will be totally forgotten?
Typically
Years.
2 generations.
You reckon 2 generations? So you're, what, 50 years?
About a week.
A week.
Yeah, roughly.
I think an angel will remember you more than a week.
Maybe.
Spooky says 1 day.
It actually matters what tier you're on, you know, of recognition, what your Q rating is when you die. You know, somebody like Carl Sagan. I mean, look, everybody's going to know his name for the next 100 years. But somebody like, you know, a commoner like you or I, they'll forget us the next time they smell a fart in an elevator.
Sam, well, I'm specifically asking about you. Sammy says a year and a half. Sorry, half a year. Microraptor says 3.14 nanoseconds. Kevin says also Google the 3 deaths. No idea what that is. Santi says about 15 minutes. Sirif 1/730th.
I think I will go on for at least 20 to 30 years after I'm dead.
You don't think people will still be watching Critical Questions in several hundred years?
No, I'm
Oh,
pretty sure
fuck
they don't
off.
watch it after
We're
Friday.
struggling to watch it after 5 minutes. Jesus Christ.
I wrote a repair manual for a specific antique car,
I actually,
and
actually,
it's the only source on the planet. So I think there will be
A memory of
interest in
that.
that book for a long time. Yeah.
Very
the only way we're ever going to get, well, I'll speak for myself. I can't speak for everybody on the panel, okay? I'll speak for myself. The only way I'm going to be remembered after my death is if someone like Wienfeld and Nicholson actually published the fan fiction about this show. That is, and it becomes the bestseller. That is the only fucking way. Seriously, not long. Obviously, you don't know, but I'm just trying to think. Obviously, the current path, my life's on a trajectory with, I don't have any children. I can't see that situation changing. Pretty much in the last of my friends are gone. That'll probably be it, I'd imagine.
I think you are underestimating how long something like this is going to last. Assuming we don't descend into apocalypse.
Wait, something. What do you mean, something like this?
Just
specifically?
the content of YouTube as it stands.
Oh, okay. We're talking about apocalypse then.
You basically have to wipe YouTube.
About 3 years from now.
Fair enough. Jefferson Spatchcock says, I'm Generation X and grunge is already forgotten. Chaz says, I say at least 2 generations. I haven't put enough media text out there to have a legacy in that sense. I know my students will tell their kids about some of my antics, hopefully with their kids. Kevin is running away, that's fine. Ricardo, about a week in case of sudden death. If prolonged illness, then even before death. Makes sense. Granny.
Until Robin dies.
I think your videos will be watched.
You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
they
and all
might.
the
a better
rest of
chance
us are
for yours
shit,
than,
Dave?
than
I think
I
your
just-
video, Manda, I think your videos will be watched until your climate change stuff will hopefully become irrelevant.
Oh,
Hopefully
boy.
become irrelevant.
that's going to
Yeah,
take 100
hopefully,
years.
hopefully for the right reason. Hopefully
Yes,
for the right
hopefully for the right
Yeah.
reasons.
They're
But
already
I mean, it's like
irrelevant anyway.
in theory, most atheist content should hopefully become irrelevant, other than from an anthropological perspective. I mean, the point is, the reason this show is potentially interesting is because it's 6 vaguely normal people talking shit.
Potentially.
Potentially.
Make that 5.
5.5.
Are we not stretching the definition of normal quite a bit here?
No. Right. There you go. Spooky says, I've downloaded
I
all of
have a large
YouTube
mouth.
onto his USB drive. It's a special Chinese one, isn't it? That sounds bad. That sounds really bad unless you know the story.
Well, this is the sad thing about YouTube as a medium, though, that when some of, especially like Manda with the climate change stuff or whatever, and at Granny, whoever's, and I don't really count myself in this. I sometimes I feel I've put out some very worthwhile content. Other times it's just fun. But it's kind of sad when you think there's people in this room who have put out very, very worthwhile content, and probably some fucking asshole like Onision is going to be fucking better remembered than we are. You know,
I think
people who put out shit on YouTube.
I think YouTube will fade away at some point.
Yes. But I think a lot of its content will be mirrored.
I hope it goes away.
I think it as a platform will. I don't think the videos will.
I mean, I've always hoped that there would be another platform that could rival YouTube, but every other one thus far has kind of failed. Because I mean, I did toy with the idea of using Daily Motion for a while, but who the fuck watches Daily Motion?
No, Daily Motion smacks my bottom. They're not
what
nice
did you
people.
do?
Oh, it doesn't matter what I did. I got in trouble. Don't mess with them. Okay, and move along. Next question. Notice how I didn't answer this fucking question. I've learned how this works. If you keep quiet and pretend you're busy, you don't actually have to answer the question. And
He might forget you exist. It's one of those things I keep meaning to point out to my panelists. Right, based on the fact that I'm releasing questions at 1 a day, right, you're not allowed to die between whenever you're on the show and about 2 years from then.
Okay.
Otherwise, it's going to be terribly
Let's have
sad.
a time frame, isn't it?
Well, but you can do a later show, and that adds to it.
Look at that.
Right.
So basically, my smoking and drinking habit is being habits are being counteracted by this appearing on this show.
What are you drinking, Jar Jar? I heard you opened the thingamajig. What was it?
I
Is it
have
the
a
cider
bottle
again?
of Peroni.
Oh, I do love Peroni. Is it a big one? Oh, it is a big one. Oh, I love the big ones. Is it cold?
It is nicely chilled, yes.
Ooh,
You like the big ones, huh?
big and cold, yeah.
Stool, how long are you going to be remembered?
Manda's face palming like fuck right down.
Stool.
Go ahead, Stool. How long will you be remembered?
You've changed the question because I thought this was a good question, and then you all went weird and started talking about
It's
YouTube.
not. It's when would you be totally forgotten? Is the question.
Totally.
Sorry.
Is this assuming that all my statues get taken down?
They will be.
We're in the process of doing that right now.
Yeah.
I like to dump them in the harbor part.
I'm going to go with heart and say 50 years.
50 years.
Yeah.
Very good.
I think
Right.
of all of us seeing as one person here, actually works in the field of science and could potentially come across a great discovery one day. I think Manda stands...
Thank you, Jar Jar, for recognising me. Thank you very much.
I was actually going to say, Manda, I think, is the one person in this room that actually stands a chance of being remembered in a historical sense, you know.
Wait a minute, is your name on any papers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, then they're going to be remembered indefinitely.
I just love it, the fact that you're going to have all these
they'll be recorded, not remembered.
No, maybe.
Very different things.
Well, no. I just see it. I just see it like this. You have all these you have these great quotes from like the great quotes from Einstein, Newton, Carl Sagan, Stephen Hawking, and then suddenly suck my dick from
Suck my dick. Yeah. It is catchy though. And yet my answer was a week.
It's the fucking quote of this year. It is.
I reckon I could remember you longer than a week.
You? I highly doubt that.
I reckon I could. I didn't forget Badger after 3 days.
Which Badger?
Who?
Yeah. Badger.
Right. Next question, I think.
No. You didn't answer, Dave.
Did he? I thought did he?
No, he didn't.
Answer anyway, then, Dave.
I'll go with 50 years, if that.
Okay.
Yeah. I think there's very little chance of it being much longer.
To be honest,
disagree.
It depends.
I disagree.
On how...
It's got to be longer for Dave because the ball episode will last forever.
I think the ball episode might get picked up in a compilation and end up fucking everywhere.
Yeah. It's going to be on one of those top 10 YouTube moments, so from I don't know, these people who do those top 10, those big channels that do those top 10 lists.
I'm going to have to put a ball cam down here so that next time it picks me up.
Dave, actually, joking apart, Dave, you actually need to do it like a top 10 critical questions moments or something.
But the problem with that is I've thought about doing that, and I am doing a special episode next week.
Was that ball blue?
Purple.
I remember meeting my great-grandmother, and she died in 1966. So, yeah, it could last a while.
It's funny when she makes up, isn't it? She's just
totally lost my train of thought.
But I was going to say that I suppose sometimes it's a bit of a yeah, like yesterday, for example, I shared something that a friend of mine shared on Facebook, and this friend of mine, her auntie was very, well-known person within science, within like the discovery of DNA, and I shared, when I just sort of shared on what she posted. I met my friends who like, who the fuck was Rosalind Franklin? I'm like, oh god, that's why this woman, like that's the sort of thing. It's like, it's like this people that need to be remembered, and
I could argue against that, but I'm not going to.
What Rosalind?
No. I do think she should be remembered within the way our society currently works. I think, but I tend to think we remember too many people, especially when their achievements are mediocre at best within context. I mean, you could more. I mean, you more talk about people that are famous for being celebrities, politicians.
Yeah.
I'd say like discovery DNA's.
No, well, this is my point. I would say yes, I was
pretty
agreeing.
Damn big thing. It just the other assholes that actually ripped off some of her work fucking got the credit. So
yes, but the point there is, as has been talked about and argued about for the last 30 or 40 years in science, it is rare now for you to have anybody that is really worth remembering in science, because the work is built on so many people's work.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you
Again,
you,
Rosalind is a good example of someone that is, because she pretty much went off was by circumstances, was forced to do a lot of work on her own and work this stuff out.
Yeah,
You
I
can
mean, it is
identify
a-
this chunk of work she did.
I mean, in science, I mean, at the end of the day, you're always standing on the shoulders of giants.
Yes. Yes, I agree.
Dennis Waterman. Let's always never forget Dennis Waterman.
Who?
Someone has to do the
He's
voice now.
He's not
Why?
fucking dead yet, is he?
Oh, is he not dead? Oh shit, forget him then. Never mind. It's okay.
Ilya says 30 minutes. I think Ilya will be remembered for a lot longer.
I
Right,
just
next
wanted
question.
I wanted to do the thing.
Go on then.
I can't sing the theme tune. Never mind, Americans, go away.
Do you ever embarrass
Oh,
yourself?
a piece of good for you.
I can't
Both
sing
of
the theme tune.
Start the show, write the show. Sammy
I
says,
love
we
it
now
when-
have a... Go
I
on.
love it when the Americans just haven't got a fucking clue what we're talking about. It just makes my day.
Lovely.
Yeah, let's talk about like
Listen,
Mind
I
Earth
asked
for the
a
next
completely
hour, yeah.
innocent question yesterday. And it broke everything because Americans
Flaps.
don't know what flaps are.
Hey,
Flaps.
whose butt is that behind Granny?
Yeah. And you know, I said piss flaps and none of the Americans
We're
fucking
getting a
laughed.
great butt
Yeah,
shot.
well, you
Look at that.
well, Dave. I mentioned like some work by like the greats like Rick Mail and Aid Edmondson, Filthy Rich and Cat Flapping. I don't think you fucking knew what it was.
No, I had no idea what that. Apparently,
I
Dennis
laughed
Waterman is
inside
72.
chat. The two funniest kinds of flaps are piss flaps and mud flaps. But you've got to be British to get it.
Sammy says, we now have a duty to remember
Granny,
Donald
on
Trump
Granny.
forever. Because the
Oh,
butt
I've-
was
I've
there. The butt
broken
was very
Granny.
distracting.
I think I've broken Granny's piss flaps. Oh dear.
We have to
I'd say
remember
more about the
Holocaust.
butt, but I just realized that it could be an under 18 butt.
Whose
No,
butt
it was
that?
my husband. That was my husband.
Oh, okay.
Granny, are you and your husband wearing matching clothes, outfits?
No,
Just coincidence.
I'm wearing "What's Up, Heathens" from Godless Engineer.
Oh,
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
My husband
So-
wouldn't be caught dead in that.
Right.
I like him, but I wouldn't buy any of his merchandise. I do like the guy though. But
It was fun last night.
yes.
I wasn't in the chat much. I did listen in. Yeah.
Right.
It's fun.
Right then.
We're trying. Next question.
Did you get it from the fridge, you Peroni?
Shh. Question.
I got it for the shop and transferred
kick
it to
you.
the fridge. Then
Ah.
transferred it to drinking.
Shut up!
Has
Question.
it got
No,
little bits of
no,
water
you-
going
you
down the
asked
side
me.
of the neck?
Dave,
Question. 1060. Should parents be allowed to make medically unnecessary body
No.
modifications to their children?
No.
Well, they do already, so.
This is why we're asking if they should be allowed.
Well, I mean, do earrings count as that?
They, within the context of the question, yes.
yeah.
I was 2 when I got my earrings. So my first.
I mean, I've
piercing.
seen some cases of the most common I've seen is where you have an adolescent girl with a nose the size of Texas, and they give her a nose reduction, whatever that is.
I'm sorry, the most common one you will have seen in the States is circumcision.
Well,
I mean,
no,
you won't have
I don't-
physically checked,
I don't seek to
but
look.
you know.
Yes, exactly.
You've been round and checked them all. Sammy says no. Cyril says hell no. Ricardo says yes. Granny.
Female circumcision is also a huge issue.
Yes.
Yeah. I can't imagine there'd be any debate on this question. No.
But
I
in which
don't-
case,
I
where
don't-
is your line? Do you allow earrings?
I
Pierced ears?
no.
Do you
No.
allow No?
No. Do you choosing for somebody else like that? No, you don't. You know, absolutely not. Absolutely
Do you-
not. No.
Do you allow them to make decisions, for example, on noses? Do you allow a 12-year-old to have a nose job because the parents allow it?
Yes.
Hold on. I mean, look. This kind of this is changing the question a little bit, because this is then getting into a point of what is a right age to consent to something like that.
Yes. Well, this is what
Right,
the point is.
but-
You
but
have
the- but
medically
the-
necessary, and then
The implication was that it was medically unnecessary stuff that the parents choose to do to children.
but the
which
child,
is
but
the
someone
answer
that's
is
12
no.
cannot consent to it.
Well, you also have an issue too that unless it is medically necessary, very few plastic surgeons are going to do that, because a child is still growing into their body anyway. So
I don't think you're going to find many tattoo places or whatever that are going to go and ink a child at 12 years old, even with the parents' permission.
yeah.
Excuse me.
I mean, earrings in teenage years, piercings, maybe, yeah, they'd do it, but
With the nose job, there's also the question of what constitutes medically necessary.
Yes, very much
Because
so.
if the child is so disturbed by his or her appearance, it might be medically necessary.
But then the
Yes,
question
then
is
it's medically, yes.
The question specifically was medically unnecessary.
Yeah.
You have
Right.
to walk
But
this
that's
fine
the
line
thing, is how do we
between-
decide what's medically unnecessary? What about hormones for transgender children?
yeah. See, this is where
That's not surgery. That's not
You know,
surgery.
No,
This is
it's
where
not
I'm-
surgery, but
this is where I feared it would be going,
alteration.
actually. But by implication, the question was medically unnecessary. So, by implication of that,
The entire transgender stuff is pretty
Absolutely
much
not.
safe.
I mean,
Um,
yes, and after fucking Wally put his foot in it the other day, I'm not going near that I'm not going near that with a fucking 10-foot pole. I'm sorry.
couldn't count the chat. Lone Wanderer,
I will.
fuck no, genital
You've
mutilation
got-
is wrong.
Jen, you've got a right to.
Yep, I do.
I feel like I do.
Right, Ricardo says, can a 13-year-old make a tattoo? A 15-year-old get a piercing? Well, this is the kind of the question. At the moment, I don't believe they're allowed to without consent, are they? Are the parents?
No, I believe it's
No.
like I don't know about the UK. At one time, it used to be like 16 or something with consent. I mean, I knew kids my age when I was at school who had piercings, and one or two that even had tattoos. I do know that one friend of mine got a tattoo at 16, and his father ended up chewing his ass out over it because he had not gotten permission. But then again, this was probably a little bit back in the days when a lot of those like tattoo places or whatever, some of them were not always ethical back then. Let's just say that. But that's definitely an industry within the UK that has cleaned itself up a lot. So
I still think there are nice dodgy ones you can go to if you want to.
oh, I'm sure there are, but compared to what it was like.
Harmonica Man says no. Lone Wanderer Variety Channel says there are some places. Oh no, she said that. Yeah, fuck no, genital mutilation is wrong. There are some places in the world where there is no age of consent, so anyone under the age can consent to a contract. Is there? I'm not sure about that.
No, in most states, a minor cannot sign a binding contract.
Yeah.
They
well,
can sign
in
it,
the
but
entire United
it's not a
States,
binding.
it's
Is it the
UCC.
Okay.
Mummy, I don't like my nose is not medically necessary. Says never again. Somebody says pink bits are sinful and should be chopped off. Well, this is the problem. I really struggled with phrasing this question because the problem is an awful lot of people that propose circumcision say that it is necessary. What's wrong with you?
Sorry, that was funny.
Um,
I like that. I want that. I want that. Pink bits are sinful and they should be chopped off. I like that. So nice.
There's your little finger going. Brainbug says medically necessary can often is built on mental health evaluation. Yes. Shush, or I'll mute you.
That's where I was trying to get to.
Yeah.
Well, but I think the base thing that you have to consider is that all citizens should have a right to bodily autonomy.
Yes.
Which they don't. Which they don't in this country. The state takes all sorts of control, or I should say, the right-wing states take all sorts of control over people's bodies.
Mm.
They got no goddamn business doing it, but they think they do.
No, and that's what I was trying to talk about earlier is, we need to be able to give our children their own sense of autonomy in their bodies, which is there's the whole line of reasoning why you really shouldn't spank your children and stuff for that reason, because they need to feel
I'm really
it.
sorry. I'm gonna have to run away. I'm gonna have to run away for 2 minutes. Can you carry on with this conversation?
We can keep talking.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's gone now. Let's all
Now
fuck
I
off.
totally lost my train of thought. Oh, yes. But at the same time, while giving them autonomy and not taking it over for yourself, they have to be able to make responsible decisions. And at what age, does that really work? So, however, no, medically unnecessary body altering things to children is just, other than, I mean, there are levels of it. Like I said, when you have, piercing ears and stuff like that is one thing, but
As a general
things,
rule,
it was not 2 minutes. I
as
tried.
a general rule, I do not think that adolescents should be allowed to have transgender surgeries. I think, having said that there are probably certain adolescents who are mature enough and advanced enough in their decision making and intellectual capabilities to understand what they're doing and would be acceptable to do something like that. But since we have to operate under a base rule, I think the base rule should be that surgery for transgender kids does not get done. I think waiting. Well, let me finish. I think waiting till they're 18 is a very, very bad decision. I think most adolescents can make a clear decision about themselves that way, probably the time they're 15 or 16.
The problem
I think they should be allowed.
I don't think that's a valid argument for transgender in general, as opposed to it being an argument for lots of things in life. Does that make sense? There are people that
I don't understand.
In the same way that you can potentially be an emancipated minor.
Oh,
there
okay.
are people
okay,
that are mature enough to make decisions at 14.
Yes.
And there are people at 22 that aren't mature enough to make decisions.
Yes, agreed.
Our system at the moment picks an arbitrary date and says, "That's it. You're going to you can now make your life-changing decisions."
I would also like to complete my thought by saying that any society that would decide that puberty blockers are not allowed for any transgender child is absolutely daft. And they have no business taking that kind of bodily autonomy and parental decisions away from people and families. It's just the state has no business making those decisions at all.
No, totally agree. So, basically, we're saying parents shouldn't be allowed to. We should try and encourage kids to be to a point where they can make their own damn decisions. And most people.
if I had a daughter who was 13, 14, 15, and she had this nose the size of Texas,
Yeah.
I've seen what girls go through when they have a I don't want to say defect, but they have a feature that is easily harassed by their peer group. It's horrible what these children go through, and I think that if an adolescent at 14, something like that, wants to have that because they have a terribly big nose, that they should be allowed to.
Yeah, because I mean,
the child's making the decision, but the parents, of course, have the responsibility.
It's very hard to separate the decision from the parents at that point.
Yeah,
You've only got to look at political alignment.
It is difficult. It is difficult though in the situation like Jenni described there, because we know. I mean, kids do not fucking know where the boundary is at times. To be honest, they're fucking cruel, and because we haven't quite formulated a lot of the time where the fuck the boundaries are.
The problem is, again, you're talking about something that's a bigger problem in wider society.
Absolutely.
I had this. This is one of the questions I had discussed with Kaz earlier, and my issue is this: what Jenni is asking for, I would let my kid get. Right? If my kid had a honking nose and wanted it to fit in the society we live in right now, I would let her. I would fight for her to have it. I don't think we should live in that society. And I much prefer society was changed so it didn't matter.
In that scenario, Jenni, I would be like, absolutely. If I thought that was going to stop, if I had a child and I thought that was going to stop my child getting bullied, and being made to feel like shit about something every fucking day, because I was fucking bullied every day for fucking years, so I know what that's like. It's not fucking pleasant.
No, it's not. It promotes suicide. Having been there myself.
Yeah, you're preaching to the converted here.
Summing up the question, nothing. We want to be able to let the freedom that a kid can change something that they want to change, whilst parents basically having no ability to force anything upon them.
I think you have to start with the base opinion of the state, of the system, that bodily autonomy is everyone's right. That it's a basic right, and each case really needs to be dealt with on an individual basis.
But even when you have bodily autonomy, you have a duty of responsibility to children. They can't necessarily make decisions.
The parents certainly does. Yes.
And the state does to a degree. Where that degree falls is more iffy. But I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued actually that more people fell down on the earrings. I expected more people to want to fight for parents to be allowed to get their 2-year-old ears pierced.
But they can.
Yes,
they can, and they do.
You go, Never Again says, you're all assuming parents are good parents. But how many actual good parents have you known?
Most of them, by far.
You think? I'm not convinced. I think most parents...
I don't think most parents are particularly good at it, but yes. I know that for most of them, the intent to be is there.
Oh, I think so. I totally agree. I think most parents try to do their best. I think most parents fuck their kids up in unique and interesting ways that they never conceived of, usually in opposition to what their parents said.
And what fucks up one kid is not necessarily going to fuck up the next one. So
no, very much not.
It's an impossibility to gauge.
Yeah. I'm fairly convinced I fucked my daughter up.
Okay. See, I believe that. I believe that.
Ilya says, I'm in the South and I believe I was a wonderful parent. I believe I was a wonderful parent. That doesn't mean to say that I think I fucked my daughter up. The problem you've got is you don't know how your actions will necessarily impact on them. Anyway, we shall move on to the next question, I think. What time is it? Oh, okay. Next question. Question 1061. Would you rather find your parents' sex tape or have your parents find your sex tape?
Or both.
No. Amanda.
Just saying. Could happen. You never know.
Considering the latter might kill him, I'm going to go with that one then.
Jenny.
Well, let's see. As someone who hasn't had sex in their entire adult life, I guess I'd like them to have mine then. It's kind of a silly question in my case.
Yes. Stool.
I've forgotten the question. Can you do it again, please?
Would you rather find your parents' sex tape or have your parents find
that's
yours?
why I forgot the question. Jesus, fuck, that's why I forgot the question. No to the first part. Fuck no. Fuck right off. Oh God, I feel sick. Yes to the second part.
So, that's fine.
Yeah.
It's traumatise them instead.
No,
You have to suffer.
no, my sex tapes are lovely.
Beautiful
All of them?
experience.
They used to be shown on BBC Two in the 80s.
Oh,
you weren't
those
doing it right.
Margaret Thatcher tapes?
Granny.
Oh, definitely my parents find mine. My mom passed away 7 years ago, so obviously that is it going to affect her at all?
Yeah, we're assuming when she was alive. We have to assume that for this question, otherwise it doesn't work.
Oh fuck! No, this has gone weird. Are we doing a Savile? Are we doing a Savile? Don't go Savile. Don't go Savile.
I was going to say, and my dad wouldn't care. I mean, he'd look at the fact that the tape was there and say, "Oh," and walk away. He would never look at it.
Fair enough.
I walked in on my parents at an age old enough that I understood exactly what I saw. So I kind of saw their sex tape, in effect. And yes, it did scar me.
Sammy says, I would rather find theirs, I just wouldn't watch it. Zero says, considering I've walked in on my mum with her boyfriends before, I guess the first one. Plus, you only said find, not watch. You've got to watch at least some of it to discover that that's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, could you imagine watching a sex tape and seeing these two bodies humping and having a great time and moans and groans and squeals and squeaks, and about 45 minutes into it, you find out it's your parents?
45 minutes, you have a very high opinion of your parents. Spooky says, I have Stool sex tapes, I use them to scare horses.
Oh, that was my favourite episode. That was 1984, and they used to show that episode at about 11:30 in the morning during the school holidays. That was one of my biggest money earners. The horses were so professional, very, very professional horses.
Jeff, you made it just back just in time to answer.
Okay, the question is,
would you rather you find your parents' sex tape or have them find yours?
Yeah, well, there's a reason I would never ever consent to making a sex tape.
Yeah, but you did in this circumstances. You didn't consent.
Yeah, I wouldn't, so it wouldn't happen. I could always tape over tape I found.
So you'd want to find your parents.
Yeah, it doesn't mean I'd have to. I'd just like, okay. I mean that's enough. Now let's record Match of the Day over that.
But you know what happened, don't you? You know what happens with old VHSs. In the middle of Match of the Day, it would all phase out, and you'd get a flash, and then it'd phase back into the match.
If the climax moment happens when a goal's scored, I don't think you're going to notice a difference.
Brainbug says, "Let them find mine."
Be like that line in Train Spotting. Haven't felt that good since Archie Gemmell scored against Holland in 1978.
I have no fucking idea what does that mean.
Have you
You're not
It's a
seen
football thing.
You're not seen Train Spotting?
Probably, yeah, but don't do football jokes. You're just wasting your time, mate. These are Americans. I don't give a shit. He sits on a bowl. What's the fucking point?
If you see Train Spotting, you
do
think
it.
it's fucking joking. It's not a football film.
It's not
Right.
a fucking joke.
This one is irrelevant to me. Ricardo says, "I'll give my parents my tapes on request. They no longer have a way to watch them." Sammy says, "Computer says no." Right. Penultimate question.
It could be of interesting if it went the other way though, and you just like watching the sex tape with "Oh, he scored!"
That'd work for you, wouldn't it, Jeff? If
Probably.
Southampton, all of a sudden Southampton pop up, scoring a goal.
Yeah. So yeah. Well, yeah.
Spooky says, "What if your parents' sex tape and your sex tape was the same tape?"
Oh, gosh.
Goddamn. No.
Spooky.
Oh,
No,
jeez.
no.
Oh,
How to break a
Medical.
panel in one sentence.
God.
No,
Oh.
do not fucking go down that route. Sorry.
Right, next question.
We erased it.
We erased. Shush. Moving on. Question 1062. Would you rather be the dog with a long stick in his mouth trying to walk through a narrow door, or the cat that jumps from a ledge and fails miserably short?
In
Ah,
other
the
words,
dog.
would you rather be frustrated or injured?
Cats don't get injured.
The dog, because cats are evil.
Sheriff says the dog. Woof. Granny.
The dog.
The dog. Manda.
Dog. I wasn't
Stool.
paying attention. What was the question? Wait. No, go back. What was the
It was,
question?
which would you like to eat the most, your pet dog or your pet cat?
Oh, this one's down. I would not eat my pet dog. I don't have cats though, so
You just answered
Cat
the dog. That wasn't the question either.
okay.
That was, yeah.
Angel was texting me. I'm sorry. What was the actual question, Dave?
Would you rather be the dog with a long stick in his mouth trying to walk through a narrow door, or the cat that jumps for a ledge and falls miserably short?
Yeah, the dog.
Harmonica Man says the dog, because I would be vastly smarter than a cat and not shit in the house. And Sarah says she really wasn't paying attention. Ricardo says the cat, then I'll scratch someone as payback. Jenny.
I would want to be the dog because if I was the cat, that means I have to spend my life as a cat. And that just is not acceptable.
Stool.
It's definitely the dog because you'll look like an idiot when you're trying to get your head through that door. But when you're a dog, no matter what happens, you can always lick your own dick.
Cats can do that too.
Can cats lick their own dicks? Is this true?
Yeah,
It's like,
but they're so tiny.
Have you never met a cat before?
They can
Stool?
lick pretty much everywhere.
I've never seen a cat's dick. I don't know how these things work. Can we get
Yeah,
a science person, please, to answer
Yeah.
this?
But
Amanda?
you would.
Yes.
But if you're the dog, you're less likely to choke on the fur ball while doing it.
Dogs have fur too.
Yeah, Brainbug says dog with the stick. Dog is dumb and happy. Cat is inadequate and prideful.
Yeah.
Do we have not one
Cat
cat
first.
lover today? Normally we have a
No.
mix.
Fuck the
I
cat.
love cats, but you know,
I've honestly
jumping
never
at it
seen
for
a cat's dick. Why? How have I managed to exist on this planet for so long without
you so
ever
obsessed
seeing
with
a cat's dick.
Nope. You know what?
I've never seen a cat.
Don't
dick.
ask,
I-
man.
come to
Don't
think of it.
ask.
You're
I've
going
also
to
never
die
seen a
never having seen it.
tortoise's dick.
Never again says the dog, mine at least, all figured out how to get the long stick sideways through the door. And I've never seen a cat not be embarrassed as hell for missing the mark. And Monica Man says, maybe you could be the Windex crows and just be watching and laughing. No. So everyone wants to be the dog. I'm disappointed.
What about you?
I'm the
Dave?
dog.
Well, then there you go. Why?
I expect to get dissenting opinions. Right.
I could pretend to argue now that I've learned that cats have dicks. Are you
okay.
sure that they can?
No,
are you sure they
cats
can
are
lick them?
The
dicks.
thing is, you're not going to get a dissenting opinion from a cat lover because the whole impression here is the cat's going to fall short and fucking at least injure itself, if not kill itself.
Cats don't injure themselves. They do this constantly. They jump off things and miss.
But
And they still land
sometimes
on
they
their
do
feet.
get hurt.
Rarely.
Yeah, they
Did you-
also
did
have
you know-
9 lives. Dave. Did you know that?
Did you know that you're meant to throw cats off 15-story buildings, at least? I think it's 15-story.
I'm willing to put
Meant
that
to.
the test.
You're meant to.
I'm willing to put. I'm willing
You're
to
not meant
put
to,
that.
you're not meant to throw
test.
them off less.
I'm willing to put that to the test in the interest of science.
In the interest, it's been tested. It's been tested, and you're not
Yeah.
allowed to throw cats off buildings.
Well,
less
there
than
was a,
15. And it might be 7. That's the worst thing. But I'm going 15 to be safe.
There's a if anyone's ever heard of the weird occultist Aleister Crowley, there's a pretty disturbing story about himself and a cat from his childhood years when he decided to put the theory that cats have 9 lives to the test.
Oh,
The
Yeah,
point
it's
is,
not pleasant.
no. The point is that cats can reorient, and anything over about, I think it's 7. Like I said, but anything over a certain height, cats can reorientate themselves and land. All right. Anything less than that height.
Cats can reorient themselves in a span of 5 feet.
No, not enough. Not to survive that fall. It's based on vets. Most cats that die or are seriously injured from falls are between, I think it's 1 story and 7 stories. Above that, they can reorient themselves and absorb the and spread themselves out and slow themselves down and absorb the land.
Bollocks.
Look it up.
Absolute bollocks.
I wish I could remember the specific details.
I don't believe that, and I wouldn't want to know how they figured that out.
They figured it out by people going to vets with injured cats.
That is utter bollocks.
And that's
It's so
anecdotal
Where the fuck have you
bullshit.
read this? That's
Haven't read
just
it.
utter
It's a
fucking
QI fact.
bollocks. It's bollocks. It's not
was
a
on
fact.
QI.
It's bollocks.
Uh,
well,
it's on QI, it has to
Stephen
be
Fry
true.
said it.
It
must
has to be
fucking
true. It's all true on QI. Sammy says, I'll say cat because I'll land on my feet and laugh at all you dogs. Never Again says, only on the mutilation of children and parental sex questions, Dave. I'm totally confused. Not a great gamer. Dog? Brainbug, I want to be a dog, but I know that I'm the cat. Spooky says, do not Google cat penis.
Oh, see, now I got to do that. Damn
I
it.
know! Never Again says, cat sex does not appeal to me, lol, it sounds awful too. Right! Let's do the last question.
Last one already.
Yes.
Yes.
Question 1063. Would you rather have only 1 nipple or 2 belly buttons? I'm very excited more.
Oh my
No,
God.
no.
You know, Angel actually has, because he had a G tube when he was an infant, so he has that scar, and it looks kind of like another belly button. And he used to tell everybody that he had a second belly button, and it's not horrible. So I'd rather have 2 nipples. And, yeah, let's keep both my nipples.
Generally,
and a belly button.
generally, though, the extra belly button thing is generally an insult directed to guys.
Is it? Wait there. No, I've never had that one.
Oh, you mean like
We'll
an
take
extra
your word on that,
belly button?
George. I've never heard that one.
No.
Seriously, you never heard that one?
No.
No, it must just be you, mate.
Maybe it is.
Did you just try to show us a picture then, or did you just...
Oh no, where did it go? Whoops.
A picture of something. It was a blur.
I'm worried about what it's going to be.
It'll be a cat's penis.
Sammy says 2 belly buttons, as I like my nipples. They have names. Sheriff says 2 belly buttons.
Nobody wants to see
No
that.
one! Hey!
Fucking hell.
Why would you put that on my stream?
Dave.
I'm going to start calling you Stool.
Dave. Are you the first YouTuber that has just been animal porn bombed on your own channel?
Yes!
That's not a porn bomb. It's a clinical picture.
And? Never
I kind
Again
of liked
says,
it.
my mum ended up with only 1 nipple. I'll take 2 belly buttons for the win, Dave.
Can I be the cat now, please? I don't want to be the dog. I want to be the cat.
Right. Granny.
Definitely the belly button.
2 belly buttons. Stool.
I don't want 2 belly buttons, thank you.
So you only want
Oh,
one
but that
nipple.
means I have to have 1 nipple. No,
Yeah.
I'll have. Oh, this is complicated. Can I have 2 nipples? And
2 belly buttons.
do I get my spatula hands?
You can have your spatula hands as well.
Oh well, fuck everything else then. I don't
You
care.
get 2 belly buttons. Jeff.
Just give me spatula hands.
One nipple.
1 nipple. Less maintenance.
I told you, and I told you I don't get much pleasure out of them, Amanda. I think I've mentioned this before.
So
You might not
get
actually be fair. You may.
pleasure out of your belly button?
To be fair, actually, that last week you may not have been in here. To be
That
fair.
is fucking weird. Are you saying you get more pleasure out of your belly button, so you want another one?
Yeah.
Because that's
No,
I think
fucking
so.
freaky.
I'm
No.
just
If he
saying-
has
fucking
1
weird.
no. Wait. If he has 1 nipple, he only has 1 belly button.
Oh, this is a complicated one. So you get 2 nipples and
You only get
2
2 nipples and 2
no,
belly
do it again,
buttons.
Dave. 2 nipples and 2 belly buttons.
2
You get
nipples
2
and
and 2, or 1 and 1.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Oh,
In order to demonstrate solidarity with my sisters who have had a single-sided mastectomy, I take 1 nipple.
See, I was worried about having that in the
Can we have-
reason. Yeah. I can talk honest.
Why?
Can a spatula
have
hand?
them.
What? No.
Spat.
Only him that gets spatula hands, and that's just to keep his
Yay.
hands busy. You can't
I'd
do anything
so
if he's got
love
spatula
spatula
hands.
hands.
This was kind of asked the other day, and as I mentioned, I do not get pleasure out of the nipples being fucking played with, as it was brought up in conversation. So
You haven't
What
gotten
about-
those clamps yet?
no, honestly, I do not. I've never enjoyed it. I've never enjoyed that at all. Never got anything from it.
Fair enough. Spooky says 2 belly buttons, more for my lint collection. Rainbow says 2 belly buttons, I suppose. Ricardo says, would that mean 2 placentas? I assume it would have done. I hadn't given the question that
Wait
much
a minute. Wait a minute. What the hell does a belly button have to do with a placenta? Oh well. Okay. I understand what you're saying. I was thinking. I was no. Never mind. I was thinking the wrong thing. I know exactly what a placenta has to do with the belly button. I just wasn't thinking in that sense. Never mind. It happens all the time with twins, but each
I'm
one
intrigued
gets
as to whether or not that ever actually happens, though. As to whether or not the twins, the umbilical cord from one twin, when it gets absorbed, or is that too late? Is the absorption always early?
Oh. Don't know.
No, me neither. Right. On that
You
note,
answer. No, you need to answer.
2 belly buttons.
Okay. Thank you.
Right. On that note, I'm going to say thank you very much to Manda, to Granny, Jenny, Jeff, and to Stool. Does anyone have anything to shill before we go, other than Pepsi?
Can I just ask one question, please? When I get my spatula hands, on my right spatula hand, could I have a little tool for removing stones from horses' hooves?
No.
Well, that's
I'll
fucking shit.
I'll just say Peroni is a very nice lager. If you'd like to sponsor Dave's channel, is product placement here.
I don't drink lager. I'd have to send it all to you. Is this a cunning plan?
Yeah. I
Kind of
like
point.
you. There we go.
I heard Peroni was just a bottled water.
I'll take one for the
We
team.
have something.
Do you? Would you like to shill it? It's not very big, is it? It's just a little show.
Yeah. Not
You
that
got-
one.
You've got a happy hour or something.
I was just talking about this afternoon. I'm on Wine and Reason with Julie.
Oh, are you? Sorry, my apologies.
Would you like me to talk about my other show, Dave?
Would you like to tease people?
I am having a panel show on the 16th with some really cool peeps.
On the
Are you
16th
not going
of
to say
what?
who?
On the 16th?
Yeah.
The
Of
16th
August, I
She
watched
did.
Zoom.
August. Yeah.
Yes.
What the fuck? It's like 28th of July. What are you doing, you crazy woman?
I'll bet it's a good
If
panel.
you knew who we had on the show, you wouldn't be bitching
Yeah,
about it, you little bastard.
It's an early tease.
Yeah.
Fuck me.
I got no.
Okay, can I have a go, please? Next, in 2 weeks' time,
One at a time!
I'm going to have a poo. In 2 weeks' time, I'm going to have a poo.
I'm sure we'll all be
If-
there to watch that.
Amanda, what would be the central topic?
We're talking about the what we do in the community and why we do it.
Okay.
I'm streaming early today. Normally I stream at 7:30 on Tuesdays, but this week I am doing it 4 o'clock because Faye the Most Gracious is my guest. And it's,
I can come
my
to that.
usual time is a little late for her. So 4 p.m. Central today, Faye the Most Gracious on my channel.
Faye is awesome.
Is Faye back
12.
home? Or is she still in
I don't
Liverpool?
know. Last I heard she'd gone to Liverpool. I didn't know if she's back or not. I don't know.
You discovered a lovely weather up here. Right. Anyone else have anything to shill other than Stool?
Shill me if you like, but for those who don't like Pepsi or Coke, which is the choice of a generation, try Lucozade.
That looks like washing
Fuck
up
is that?
liquid.
And the original.
Fucking It's fucking Lucozade. It's the posh apple stuff.
It's the posh
That's
apple stuff.
Dirty,
Or
dirty,
Apple
dirty,
Luke. Now
dirty.
Apple Lucozade is fucking. No, that's an abomination.
It's fucking gorgeous, and
That's-
you know it.
Abomination.
All right.
Apple
It was
Lucozade.
really great seeing everybody.
No. Thank you, everyone in the chat. We will see you bright and early tomorrow.
And
Bye.
Pepsi,
Tomorrow we have a
Pepsi
special
is the
guest.
choice of the
Bye-bye.
Oh, we
generation.
do. Wait there. We have a
Bye.
special guest tomorrow morning.
the theme tune.
Shut up! Wait there. We have a special guest tomorrow morning that I completely forgot about. So you'll have to turn
whoa.
up just to see who it is. No, I'm not saying.
Yep.
No,
See you
no,
tomorrow.
come on.
Nope.
You've got to say who it is, Dave.
No, I
Bye-bye.
don't. Bye.
Bye.